Greetings, for it is I, betwixt by the moonlight. I'm here to present to you an iambic pentameter. Oh, I didn't see you there. What's up?
Hey, baby.
Hey, yeah,
How you know that?
What?
How you know?
How do I know that?
Yeah.
I don't know how I know that, to be honest with you. It's probably in my subconscious mind somewhere, hidden. It just came out.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Third eye, I would definitely say that, do you meditate at all?
No. Oh, before I sleep. Okay.
Yeah. Before you sleep, it's going to activate it.
Gods and goddesses in training, welcome back to the channel. This is Primal Sutra. This is a channel where we talk all about peak performance and merging it with shamanism. So how to embody altered states of mind in order to transform ourselves and align with our greatest and truest selves. Flow state is really a way that you communicate with your higher self. That model you might have seen, surrender and discipline, that's barely the tip of the iceberg in this thing, okay? Now, I just want to read the disclaimer first and foremost, okay? I'm not some kind of arcana tarot specialist, okay? I love reading about this stuff and researching it as much as anybody else does. I'm fascinated by this because the tarot works a lot with archetypes, okay? And of course, there is a hidden thing happening underneath the scenes because we understand, well, I'll give you some clues. Circe is a goddess who used to transform people into animals. Circe sounds like circus. So start to understand that there are a lot of clues hidden in plain sight when it comes down to the occult, okay? And, breaking down the Joker card will give you this understanding that I'm creating my own luck. It's the real people who practice divination, this art form of, tarot, the cards, they're not sitting here in the personal self trying to predict the future on the spot. What they're really doing is they understand that they're a vessel and they're divining on the spot and they're creating on the spot. So they could even arrange the deck in a very specific way, which would change the algorithm. Okay, so there's two different ways, two different players of this game, and it's an infinite game. Okay, love is an infinite game, and there's no winning or losing per se, but there's no beginning and no end. And this is what I really want you to understand when it comes down to the flow state. Okay, yes, in our day and age, in this specific dualistic time, it can seem like you're starting a flow state activity, you're ending a flow state activity. But the flow is the substrate. It already exists. The peak performance that you have, yes, it needed to be made into a machine, but also it's a sacred machine. So it's both of your hemispheres. So I've always been fascinated by this character of being an agent of chaos, okay? Understand that that is the Joker, okay, in Batman. That is the Joker card. That is the card of the Fool, or 0 point, okay? Now, I really want you to understand that there's a 0 point of consciousness, which is what? New beginnings, new possibilities. This fun, this adventure. Okay, you don't know what's going to happen. You're a walking question mark as the Fool. But guess what? You play the Fool. At times, you got to play the Fool card, which means what? You don't got to reveal so much and over-explain yourself. You keep some mystery alive about yourself as the enigma. That's the card, the tarot card of the Fool. Now, if you look at it, he's on the edge of a cliff. So it's between life and death, 0. He understands the impermanence, which brings me back to an understanding of your birth cards, okay? I'll speak about that in a little bit, but coming back to this Fool. So the Fool Tarot was actually brought up in my Akashic record session, okay? The guides of my Akashic records were telling me they appreciated the fact that I could play the Fool at the right times.
It's not a lot of people I get to tell this to in my sessions where they really understand this, and you're way past the Fool. I know I'm like referencing tarot a lot right now, but you're way past the Fool. You are you've done the Fool many, many times where you've had to take that leap of faith, and they recognize you for this. They acknowledge that, and they very much appreciate you for this, because not many people do. Not many people have ever taken even one jump. So that's why they hold a space for you. And that's why you have so many guides here for you in so many different ways, that they're like, you are supported in any way you go.
They really, really admired me for that, okay? So there's something to learn with this archetype. By the way, Fool in my language, Bengali, it means flower. It means to bloom, okay? So understand that too, okay? Freedom, innocence, the desire to begin. Shoshin, beginner's mind. All of this is coming down to the zero. Now, what if you have the Fool reversed? Negligence, stupidity, holding things back, taking stupid risks instead of heroic risks. There's that risk and feel for adventure and spontaneity, but then there's pure recklessness. So the red feather of the Fool represents the mortal life of the Fool. It's basically the flame of life. You're led by your heart and your soul rather than your baser instincts. So notice he's carrying a staff or a wand of some sort. The darkness of that wand is the powers of manifestation and the unconscious mind. So he's carrying his past on his back, understanding that his past is being held by a magic wand. Think about this. Now apply this directly into your life. Your past is magical, which means you can utilize it in the present in a very unique way, okay? There's a lot of secrets being revealed here, right? And these are just symbolism we're looking at. He's holding the white rose because it's a symbol of purity or innocence. This is the best is yet to come, okay? So this is a pure desire, okay? This is a pure desire. It's not a basal lower desire. The little dog following him, it's nature being controlled by man instead of the other way around. The little dog is nature. Oof. You guys, we're learning some deep truths in this video. Give me a like. This video is like a cartoon sound. Like a kablamo, right? Or a kapowie, right? In those old school cartoons. So he's on the ledge, taking what? A leap of faith. He's on the mountains, guys. The highest points of ascension. Also his little bag that he's carrying, okay? It's associated with Scorpio. Eagle is one of the forms of Scorpio, if you don't know, okay? So there's like stages of Scorpio, right? So notice he's carrying this little wallet or this bag. This is actually his own instinct, but it also contains universal memory. Understand that this person has nature following him and the world on his back. So there's something to do with memory in the past. He's treating the past differently to the regular person, okay? I'm a Scorpio, by the way, so this is very personal to me, this card. But I just want to speak about it very briefly because other people can tap into this universal archetype. And understand also that this alchemy stuff, Hermeticism, Hermes was a trickster god. He was a joker. So you might be taking him very seriously. If you're taking the Hermetic principles seriously, you're not understanding that this is the game designer giving you the codes of the game. The law of polarity, okay? The law of correspondence. The law of gender. He's giving you the codes to the video game. How to play the game. I see a lot of people taking this so seriously. Bro, there was one of you who was trying to start like a religion or something with Hermes, right? Or something like that with flow state. Bro, where is that? What's the process of that? We need updates, okay, bro? You can't just say something like that and not do anything about it. So I'm out here creating my own monarchy, my dynasty, and I'll explain that later. And by the way, when I say mine, it's not for this little ego here, okay? This ego is constantly changing, right? It's constantly transforming, but that's what I'm here to do and that's what I am, okay? So understand, birth cards, easy to find, you can Google it. You can go to tarotschool.com/calculator, okay? And you just put in your birthday and they give you 2 birth cards. Now, I'm a Scorpio. You guys know my birthday was on the 26th of October. So we get 2 cards from me, Death and the Emperor. So I want you to place the Fool, the 0 point in the middle of 2 of these cards. You might have the Wheel of Fortune and the Magician. You might have Justice and the High Priestess. You might have the Hanged Man and Empress. You might have Death and Emperor like myself. You might have Temperance or the Hierophant. You might have Devil and the Lovers. You might have Tower and Chariot. Tower and Chariot, by the way, is my business partners, Ryan G's birth card. We have Star and we have Strength. We have Moon and we have Hermit. We have a Sun, Wheel, Magician combo. We have Judgment and the High Priestess. And we have the World and Empress, okay? You could do your own research on these cards. I'm going to be speaking primarily about my cards. For Emperor and Death. What does this mean for you and your path? Because you're on a similar path to me, that means, okay? If you resonate with these cards. So both of these are Mars energy. First get that. First really get that. That's the hidden unconscious aspect of me. It's the dark, it's the deep, it's the frightening of the Scorpio, the death. And the Aries, he's bright, he's clear, he's hot, aggressive, reassuring. So notice first and foremost, the king organizes and establishes, and death deconstructs and wipes away. So this understanding, I take into Hinduism, Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma. Another thing that came up in my Akashic reading. So this is the warrior of light, okay? So Death and the Emperor is very, very powerful because the symbol, look at the symbol right here, it's a white rose, okay? And the symbol of a white rose is actually very, very powerful because it links directly to my sacral chakra. Some of you know about that, okay? The white rose, what it represents, which is very powerful, is the purity of your desire. The innocence of your desire. It has been uncorrupted. Because what happens when we die is our desires get purified, okay? That your earthly desires you don't really need, right? After you're dead, but your spiritual desires live on. It gets transmuted into the space. It starts to create an imprint, right? A cosmic or consciousness imprint. So there's protection, possibility, right? You notice the ram, the Aries on the Emperor card, right? The two Aries, right? So in his hand, he's holding a symbol of life. His beard shows wisdom. Holding something in his hand, that's domination. His metal shoes represent protection. Already understand this is a very, very masculine energy, okay? His crown is representing material success. But then flip it upside down and you have the abusive male of the patriarchal system. Controlling, rigid, stubborn, inflexible, okay? The opposite of flow. The white horse and the death card represents purity and innocence again. And the white rose, you notice, is the flag. This is the purity that comes from a rebirth or releasing bad habits. You'll also notice very tiny, there's some people on their knees. That's suggesting that no one can escape death or change. It's inevitable, right? But it's also a symbol for transformation, which is what I do. I help people transform. So, am I a murderer? Okay, not really. I'm just allowing you to understand the technology so you can rewire, disentangle yourself from this, and pick the avatar or the archetype that you truly prefer. For us, it's always been the priest beast or the priestess beast, the combination of our lower basal instincts and our higher ascension. Meeting in the middle, highly integrated, compassionate, but also hardworking, determined, focused, winning, okay? That's the energy that we want to give out as flow state Jedis, as savage shamans in this walk of life, in this game of life, you could say, okay? The term divination means to be inspired by a god. It's literally the practice of telling a prophecy. And if that doesn't scream anti-Satan, I don't know what does. So if you're saying tarot cards are demonic, you'll click away from this. Okay? Why? Because you're clouding your judgment from these teachings. Devil worshiper! Okay. And then runs the other way. Good, good. Welcome to life. Watch our last podcast, Why the Devil Shouldn't Scare You. Watch that podcast, okay, on IMC TV. You're missing out, man. We've got a lot going on here. The cards aren't some kind of guidance system for you. It's how you read them. You see? And I read those cards from my own perspective and understandings. I understand that on one side, I have the Emperor that's building things. Order. On the other side, I have anarchy, death, destruction, Shiva. Brahma and Shiva. In the middle is Vishnu, which connects to the 0 point. So how do we preserve our lives is through zero or ego death or flow state. That is hitting reset on this video game of life and understanding that you can do something about this shit. You don't have to sit back all the time and be a bystander. And I get it, man. This kind of stuff isn't for everybody. Like, I look at some of these tarot readers and I'm like, bruh, come on, okay? Hurry it up, bro. What are you talking about, right? You know what the word superstition means? It means to overstare at something, okay? If you're making tarot all about your life, you're taking in all the symbols, you're gonna be drowning in tarot, okay? That's when it becomes a problem. But not if you're using it as a tool for clarity or something like this, okay? I'm just being pretty logical here, right? I'm not talking nonsense. Yes, there are deeper aspects of this, but you have to go into the depth of the esoteric rabbit hole to really get what's going on, okay? And it gets complicated. Okay? For instance, the game Applejacks, if you remember, it was called Knucklebones, okay? Right? It was made from the talus bone of a certain animal, right? I think that's where the word talisman also comes from, okay? Bro, are tarot cards the reason why there's so much societal collapse? No, but again, you gotta understand, there are makers of this game, okay? And I like to play by my own rules. I'm one of the game changers in this thing, okay? And I know you are too. We're here to make a better world. We're here to make a more brighter, positive world, more optimistic, where we get all the opportunities and we can become the real navigators. The Navi tribe, right, from Avatar, and Gators, the Makara, okay? The navigators, okay? We become the real navigators of this thing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you. And with a Shakespearean twist, okay? Farewell. Peace out, guys.